you gonna do it in accent? Please do it in accent.
Hello. So we read the book about Camille, who missed her old house. I can't do it. Okay, she missed her old house and her grandma, and the old house was like on the beach and stuff, and so she was telling her friends like how great the ocean was, because like one of her friends had never been to the ocean, and so that was kind of like her problem, is that she was just missing that. So we made her a pool, and she used to play mermaid, like in like everything, and but like her older sister had told her that she was too big or something, and she had grew out of her outfit, and so we made her a new bigger mermaid outfit. And obviously the scale is not accurate, because if the pool would be way too big if she was that big of a mermaid. And so like we gave her a party with all her little friends and stuff, and we put floaties in it. And then we also, she missed her grandma, so we got them both iPhones. So we got Camille and the grandma an iPhone.
So they can Snapchat.
Yeah, so they can Snapchat or FaceTime depending on what the preference is in their geographic region.
They're in the know.
That's it? Yeah.
Got it.
We did our thing.
And I would say, stealing the idea from over there, see if your author is on social media somewhere and send evidence of this. And just, they probably won't respond.
Drunkenly stupid.
Show them what you're doing.
Who's next?
Oh my God, he did the Mysterious Benedict Society. I love all of those. I read all of those. Now I gotta get this one. I've got it right here for you if you'd like. It's the Secret Keepers.
Okay. Thank you. Do we have to wait for something?
Go for it.
Okay, so the title of our story was The Secret Keepers, and the problem we're trying to solve is there is a young man who has several problems. He's inside of a cave, it's dark, he has a flashlight, he's trying to climb down a rickety ladder, the ladder breaks, his flashlight falls in the water, the cave is filling up, the tide's coming in, and he has to escape. That's his immediate problem. So, since he's in a dark cave and he needs to get out, we decided to help him out by giving him a helmet to hold his flashlight so he is hands-free and he can see where he's going as he climbs out. So this is our hands-free helmet holding our flashlight. As you can see, it is securely adjusted on the side, and it can actually be sized if needed, since it's made with rubber bands that are chained, so he could take one off to make it tighter if he needed to.
He can take
Great.
the flashlight out.
He
if
could take the
needs to.
flashlight out, yes, and reuse the helmet.
Wow.
Yes. So now he can see what he's doing as he climbs out of the dark tunnel.
Very good. And a great book if you haven't read it before.
Who's next?
Wait, she's not here? Oh.
Should we wait?
We got our codes ready.
Just really nice to tag along with their story.
Yeah, the same.
You want me to tell the story?
And you want to do it? Sure.
And then I can do anything else.
I'm not sensitive.
Sorry. He's like candy chocolate while I'm.
I did. I was just thinking because sort of giving shout. You got that again?
Well, it's just a nice backdrop.
This way?
Yeah, try to center it in the screen.
Oh, good, and we don't have the letters on our face.
Oh, well, never mind.
Okay, so ours was about Lewis and Clark, and it starts out and it gives us lots of information how they had been trekking up and down, the core members, their feet hurt, they were walking on moccasins, were using moccasins, they were getting cactus pinpricks in their feet and all that. They're having to lug up the Great Falls, and so it gave us a lot of choices. And at the very end, they're hiding under a rock cave because there's like apple-sized hail coming down, and you have Sacagawea, she's there with a little baby, hiding under there, but they're in a ravine, and there's a flash flood coming. So, you know, what issue do you talk about? Do you worry about how they're going to transport the food, how they're going to protect their feet? But we came up with a solution. Well, you don't have to worry about all that if you drown. in the ravine. So we came up with something to protect them so they can get out and not get flooded.
It is this fashionable 2-in-1. I would say that it's not ethical, conscious, and cruelty-free because it is made out of animal skin. So this would be animal skin and plants. So it was readily available there. But basically, it's one of those kind of fold out. Put it on the shoulders so their arms are free. They can still work. There's nothing on the sides. We thought about that to keep things from blowing because they still need to see what's going on. There's still animals and rocks and things like that. This does fold up, and it was, we were talking with the other team, and we realized, you know, we could use this for something else. So it folds up into a pack. So it would, again, it would be very pliable because it's thin branches and animal skins. So it would fold up and it could carry when it was not in use.
Since they have a lot to carry around, and then, you know, during their 18-mile hike,
Right.
they can put stuff here and then use multiple people to carry their stuff.
And I forgot to mention that one of the problems they had was they had a metal frame canoe, and that was supposed to carry 7,700 pounds, but with all the wind, it started blowing all the animal skin and hides away, so they actually sunk the canoe. And so we were like, okay, if you're out there in the middle of nowhere, you do not have a Walmart and a Target. So they had, you know, you go and collect all those hides and skins that blew off. And so that's why we were like, you know, why don't, instead of lugging them around, use them to good, you know, put them to good use.
Awesome. Yeah, so I've used that reading for notes
I'm
a
loving
couple
this. I
times.
can't wait to hear all about it.
And there
I was
are,
like,
in a few pages, there's like an unlimited number of challenges that they face that people can pick from. And just as one concrete example, we went to a place actually right near where this story happened on our way to Yellowstone last year, and they've got a man-made canoe. Well, I guess all canoes are man-made. But they've got a canoe that they fashioned out of a single log, and it took modern recreationists. It took, I think, about 5 guys, about 5 days to hatch it out a replica of the canoe, right? So we often think of like, well, they just called Amazon and in 2 days they had a canoe show up. But thinking about all the serious challenges. So one thing that group reminded me of, and a couple of folks asked, and I think this is a good sort of teaching idea to think about, is should you limit your students on, in a case like that where there's a historical precedent, or one of the others where it's along the water, it might be a local situation, you know, well, they only had access to plastic and paper, right? Should you do that? I would probably encourage you to make that choice on your own. I am going to encourage you to make that choice on your own. I probably would, at the early stages, not limit them and let them have access to whatever materials to try to get their idea fleshed out, but then bring that idea into the mix. Okay, so this is great, but what if you only had animal hides and wood? What would you do then, right? And then getting them to think about material constraints that are quite real. That can lead to some interesting conversation. But again, that's completely your choice to make that.
Really?
You have to do the camera.
I would.
Oh, yes. You can just stand in front of the screen.
Yes.
That'll be.
Sorry.
Is that better?
So it's the exact thing that we were talking about is, you know, like the constraints of what they would have on hand to be able to solve this problem, but we did not pay attention to that, so we just
I
did
told you
what
not
we wanted
to.
to do.
We did too. We paid total attention to that.
The problem that we decided to focus on was they had to walk a long way to get water. And there were a lot of issues that came up. They'd be tired, their feet would be sore. So we thought, okay, let's take the water out of the atmosphere and keep the solution close by so they could be at home. So we thought, okay, what if we made a child's playground toy that the kids would get on, maybe put it right outside of the school, and it would power a fan, which in the water cycle you have to have colder air, a cold change in temperature to have water condense. So we're hoping the fan will change the temperature and pull water out of the atmosphere, and this is a collection cup down below and gets water down below.
so it saves us on them walking back and forth. It's more of a game for them to get on the bikes and play. Saves their sore feet. It cleans and filters the water, so we don't have dirty water anymore. And we have fresh water right at our fingertips. We don't have to move. We don't have to leave every 5 months to go somewhere else to live.
And the community could come and do different turns at night when the kids aren't there, you know, so.
Nobody's on the bike.
Another amazing book, if you have not read it yet, that was A Long Walk to Water. And it reminds me that we just saw an amazing movie that if you haven't seen it yet, it's called, I think it's called On the Way to School. It follows 4 groups of kids around the world and their walk to
We're gonna have to
school.
open it, huh?
And there's one group from Kenya who walks, I think it's 15 kilometers a day.
Oh my god.
And what it starts with is a boy at a watering hole, essentially doing what's a main part of that story, where he's just sort of digging a hole in the sand. The hole slowly fills with water, right? And as you're watching this, he sort of scoops the water and starts drinking it, right? And my kid's first reaction was like, "Oh God, that's terrible," but it was like, that's the
You gotta do what
reality,
you gotta do, yeah.
right? So he's filling up a water bucket from that and going home. So anyway, it's a fascinating movie that could play into something. Go ahead.
So our book was The Secret Keepers as well. They kind of focused on a